Welcome to Creepypasta. Please like, share and subscribe. This will help us make more content for you. Thank you.
We were missing for 12 hours. These events happened in 2011 and I still don't have a logical explanation. I was doing a year abroad on the south coast of Britain to learn English. We were students between 16 to 18 years old living in host families, so we didn't have much money or anything to do beside chilling outside or going to the beach in our free time. A Friday afternoon we met two students from another school at the beach and they asked us, my best friend and I, if we wanted to join them for a drinking night near their campus tonight. We said yes and invited some of our friends to the evening. Some of us wanted to go home to take a shower or change their clothes, but me, my best friend and two men of our friend group were living too far, so we decided to go to the park next to the campus and wait there for everyone as the weather was perfect. We didn't know that place at all. We walked 30 minutes from the beach following our new friend's instructions. We were staying on a bench in the middle of a big park. Then my best friend and I went for a walk because we needed to go to the bathroom. We were chatting and laughing. I remember the sky because it was sunset at golden hour. We wanted to explore a little bit the park because it had a beautiful garden. I remember seeing a green maze and asking my best friend to go there and nothing else. With my best friend we woke up at 8:30 a.m. in her bed in her host family's home. We were wearing pajamas, feeling great and nothing messy in the room. What the hell? We opened Facebook to ask everybody what happened last night, and nobody had an answer. The problem is we had a reputation of being outgoing and unpredictable, so when they didn't see us coming back, the boys didn't took it seriously, and started drinking, not giving a damn about us. Later, other people joined, and everybody thought we were back home. We didn't know the road from the park to her home. Didn't have smartphones or maps. Didn't have money for taxi, public transport. Some more informations. 12 hours complete memory loss, sunset at 8 p.m. Alcohol was present but we didn't drink yet. No drug, and we were all underage students. Every house/road looked the same in this city and we didn't know the neighborhood. Best friend's host family didn't hear us coming back. No injury, hangover, dizziness. It happened at Gildredge Park plus Manor Gardens, but what give me goosebumps is that I don't see that maze anymore on maps. 10 years later it still bothers me. We were best friend in England but didn't see each other since. I managed to find her on Instagram and asked her if that's all in my head or if she is also still freaked out by this story. She has no explanation and tried to not think about it anymore. I'm glad because some people don't believe my story and these screenshots are a little evidence. What is your theory? What happened?
Comments. There are some possibilities. You both got drugged. And then returned home silently in the middle of the night. You can't remember anything due to the drug's effects. You got kidnapped by fairy, fae, jinn, or whatever it is. Then somehow you got returned home or you go home by yourself but under a kind of spell so that you forgot everything. This story is fake. I know, I don't want to be that guy. I believe you but it's a possibility regardless. You slipped dimensions.
I know it's obvious that we got drugged but that seems impossible for me. We weren't intoxicated when we were walking in the park and both of us remember absolutely nothing for 12 hours, it's too much time. We didn't know where to find drugs, so who would drug two girls then take them back home safe? So strange. I want to believe the fairy theory. Do you have more infos? I read a lot about alien abductions but we didn't have scars or pain. The story may be fake, it looks like a lie. That's why I was so happy that she confirmed my story 10 years later. I have the screenshots in French if someone is interested. I want to believe the dimension skipping theory too, maybe quantum immortality. We asked everybody, and no one knows what happened. I trust the guys who were here at the beginning, We are still friends today and they never touched drugs. But you could be right.
I think I called myself. I've been reading the stories on this subreddit and have enjoyed them, so I thought I would share my own weird story with you guys. It happened in early 2000, when I was working at a juvenile detention center, in a small town in Oklahoma, as a corrections officer. I was working nights at the time, and went to work at 9 p.m. This one night, when I arrived for work, my supervisor looked confused and asked me what I was doing there. I said, "I work tonight." And he said, "But they said you called in a few hours ago saying that you were sick." I was a bit confused and said, "It must have been someone else and they got the message wrong." After everyone else showed up for work that night, it was a bit more weird, but we carried on as usual and assigned everyone their places for the night. I went to work in the control room where I usually work. The control room is the center of the prison, that has direct control over the cameras, doors, phones and everything. After I relieved the guard on duty, and settled in for the night, I looked at the message that said I called in. It said that I had called at 6:50, and said that I had gotten sick while out cleaning up after the storm. There had been a storm the night before, and it was a bit bad, but not anything that I had to go out to clean up. It was truly weird. The supervisor came into the control about that time. He was also a friend of mine outside work, and we started talking about it, and how odd it was. I decided to call my wife at home and tell her about it, while he was still sitting there. I picked up the phone and dialed. After 2 rings, a man picked up the phone and with a raspy voice said, "Hello." I did not know what to say for a few seconds. I looked at the phone to make sure I dialed the right number, and I had. After a few seconds, the person said, "Hello," again in the same raspy voice. I said, "Hello, who is this?" "This is Taylor, who is this?" the person said. My head started spinning, because my name is Taylor also. I said in almost a scream, "Where is Ann?" He said, "Ann's in bed." "Who is this?" I dropped the phone and told my supervisor to ring me out. I had to get home, and I took off towards the door. I could hear Dave pick up the phone behind me and say, "Hello," followed soon after by, "What the hell," rather loudly. I ran to my car, and drove home faster than what was legal, my mind racing the entire time. I busted through the door, and my wife was sitting, watching TV, and was shocked at me being home. I asked her who was there, and she said no one has been here. After a rather long talk with my wife, I went to call the prison to tell them what was going on, but the phone was dead. I went back to work, and when I came in, Dave was acting weird and asked me, "How the hell are you doing this?" He told me that when I left, he picked up the phone, and the person on the other end sounded like me. He kind of freaked out and hung up the phone. A minute later, as he could see my car leaving the parking lot, I had called back from home and asked what the hell was going on. He said that I was a bit irate, and said I was sick and did not feel like playing these games, and was telling him to stop prank calling me, and hung up. After convincing him I had no idea what was going on, we went back to work. Later, I find out that the phone line for my area had been knocked down the night before by the storm. This is absolutely the strangest thing that has ever happened to me.
Comments. I think I may have an idea on what happened. There was a storm and his phone got cut. In one reality, the guy found out about his phone being out and went out to fix it, and in the other, he doesn't find out, and nothing else has been damaged by the storm that needs fixing, so he doesn't go outside. The version of him that went outside gets sick and calls in to work. Because the non-sick version of him didn't step outside to fix his phone, it can't be connected to the phone at his workplace, so the phone network settles for the next best thing, connecting to the phone in the alternate reality where the phone works and OP is sick. The storm might have something to do with that too. Also, his wife must have gotten sick too, in the other reality too, as she is in bed in the sick reality, but not in this one. And the weirdness ensues.
I saw a quote from Dr. Courtney Brown from the Farsight Institute on a remote viewing page on Facebook today. Here is his quote, which may be relevant here. A friend asked me to explain our climate project in terms of multiple realities, and this is what I told him. The television picture looks real, and a primitive person would really think it is, and that there is something inside the TV. My son's parakeet looks into a mirror all day thinking that he is seeing another parakeet. The sound from your radio sounds real, and a primitive would try to break into it in order to find the small people living inside. But all of it is just frequencies. Our real-looking physical bodies, and everything else is just a very persuasive 3D projection. Nothing is solid, and no physicist has ever found anything that is solid. There are only frequencies that interact. Thus all realities can coexist simultaneously since it is just a matter of frequencies being in sync. There is no one reality. You are experiencing only what you are compatible with on the level of frequency. There are other versions of you who are compatible with other frequencies, and you cannot see those other versions or what they are seeing. In our version of reality, the meteors shown in our climate project did not hit the Earth. In other versions, they did. If we had technology that allowed us to see other versions, you could have watched the other versions deal with all of that. That is why it is impossible to make a deterministic single prediction of the future. Such a single future does not exist. Our current moment of the now branches off into a variety of futures. There is no single one, ever.
Do you have a creepy story? Please share it with us in the comments, and we will post it on the channel. Please subscribe. Thank you.